in our class, we created a project based on a pop song. So what we did is we chose Taylor Swift's Shake It Off. And we decided at some point, we were just kind of going with it and decided after we chose Shake It Off to divvy up the lyrics and change the lyrics. We thought it'd be fun to do a better Shake It Off. And then we decided each person would have their own section and kind of go in a different direction with it. And I believe you suggested to do a minor section and do it very ironic. You want to say more about that?
Yeah, so I didn't want it to be like super sad or depressing. So we decided to do like a parody or satire to do a minor verse but be dramatic and funny about it.
Yeah, and that was definitely one of our challenges going into this project is we had to figure out after we decided how to instrument or create the song. So Nick, you did guitar, I did ukulele, she used her violin. One of our challenges was figuring out how to make it minor, which was definitely fun. So after we figured out how we were going to play it, we added in Soundtrap, and Nick's going to tell you a little bit about how we did that.
This is our Soundtrap project. It kind of works that you can add in different layers of instruments and you kind of line them up with each other. It's a cool little website to make collaborative music on. You can highlight an individual track. You can cut it if you wanted to. I'm not going to because I don't want to break stuff. But yeah, so you just go part by part and you put them all together and then you can play it like this.
Why don't you tell us about some of the challenges we had with Soundtrap?
Yeah. So, I mean, as you probably heard in that, some of the things aren't quite lined up, and that's one of the challenges we ran into with Soundtrap. Because you're doing it layer by layer, sometimes the whole thing takes a little work to get together, and we just didn't have enough time to do that.
So what we did was we went to soundtrap.com and we brought it up in Safari. Oops, that's the wrong one. Okay, and then once you create an account, you can create a project. I should have titled it The Better Taylor Swift, but it's Elizabeth's song right now. So I'm going to open it. And once you get in there, I have different tracks. This is a percussion, then there's bass, there's a flute organ, and I used a MIDI keyboard to input that. There's a recording that was input and a drum track. So how you get to those is you go to loops and you can actually choose what you want. So originally I did bass first, and then I did drums, and then I did like a synth. And to find my flute organ, I plugged in the MIDI and it showed me different options that I could do with a MIDI keyboard for sound effects. And that is how we did that. Once you layer them, you can actually snap to grid or unsnap to grid to move these around, and that is one way to line them up if the rhythms are off. And you can actually hit edit on these tracks and you can choose different pitches, you can auto-tune them, fade in and out, and these are all tools you use to make the ideas you have about your song come to life.
One or two of these parts was recorded with a MIDI keyboard. So basically that's just a digital controller that you plug into a computer, and it's a little keyboard to play the parts on. That took some time for us to figure out. Soundtrap always gives us a little bit of trouble, but when we were performing it, we were stuck with the loading screen, got the little Soundtrap S, and ended up having to do it acoustic. So as far as problems, when I think that with Soundtrap, that's most of them.
So one thing that we didn't get to see in the violin part was that I made a brief reference to a Tchaikovsky violin concerto because it's my favorite violin concerto and it fit the dramatic minor character that we're trying to do. So that was a little fun thing to work out.
That's awesome. Since I wasn't there for the performance, do you want to say a little bit more about what happened on Tuesday?
So we had a little bit of time to finish preparing and we couldn't even open up the Soundtrap. So it was kind of, all right, let's see what we're gonna actually do. So when we performed, we only did part of it, and it was acoustic. So Nick and I sang, and Nick played guitar, and we did our 2 verses and 2 choruses. And we ended up also switching the order a little bit. We were originally going to do the minor verse second, but we ended up starting off with it just to get it out of the way, kind of.
Yeah, so, I mean, when these projects happen, you have all these big dreams, but you always have to, it seems like it never turns out the way you initially think it will, but it was still successful, right? Like, you guys still played it out